There was one girl who came to our club from the very first session who had never done computer programming, anything like that before. And her name was Anna, and she, over the course of the next 3 sessions in the weeks and the months, really grew not only in what she knew and her knowledge of computer science, but also in her ability to share that with the people around her. You know, in the last session, one of her best friends came and was really struggling. She was, for the first few weeks, would reach a point in the lesson where she was just on the verge of tears because she couldn't figure out how to make it do what she wanted to do, or she'd accidentally delete something, and Anna would just, hey, it's okay. I can help you. I've done this for a while. I get it. It's frustrating, but let me show you what to do. And just really stepped in and was able to share her knowledge and share what she'd learned, not only with this girl, but with the other kids who were around her, whoever they were.
Powerful moments that you didn't think were going to be that big, and they, you know, a parent will come back and say something to you, and it'll just blow your mind about how you've affected somebody with something little that you did, whether it's spending time with someone on their homework or teaching a kid how to do something in a sport, drawing something for a kid. I definitely realized pretty early on that you're going to have these moments that you're not going to be aware of. But as long as you're doing your job and you're trying to make these kids feel welcome and feel like they have a place here, and that, you know, people cherish their relationships with them, that you're going to be, you know, changing lives and like helping people, you know, to have, you know, hope and aspirations for their future and stuff. What you're doing, you know, has a greater purpose. You know, it's not just a job. It's not just a child care site. It's, you know, a place where we're changing lives and in some cases saving lives.
We had a teen who had actually applied to 21 colleges. I believe over half of them were Ivy Leagues, and he did not have a safety school. He came over here from China when he was 4. This was a really big deal college for him. And so what we did is when he realized he didn't get into any of his colleges, he thought he was going to have to move out of his house. He felt ashamed. So we applied to 5 different schools that we knew that he could get into with his grades. He also had a 4.0 GPA, which is insane. And so we applied, he got accepted. The importance of college, I understand. And for him, that was just a moment where Youth Force, you understand the power behind it, because Youth Force is one of those programs that is able to take a teen. They don't know what the next step is for them. And we are able to provide them, guide them, and mentor them, coach them through all of the steps of having a career and moving past Youth Force, whether that is to go to college or to get another job. And for him, it was to go to college, and he got that. And it was amazing. And it's one of those things that I will never forget.
So we have a club member named Peyton, and she's 11, and her mom moved to Bainbridge Island about 1.5 years ago from New Jersey. And this was a really big move for them and a really good move for them. Peyton really found her place on Bainbridge. It was just, she fell right into her routine. She made some really good friends. She was accepted for who she was. And she felt really happy and safe here. And her mom had the opportunity to move away to Spokane and took that opportunity. So at the end of the summer, they moved away. And about 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Mom saying that they were moving back very quickly. And she was hoping that there was space in our program for her daughter. And of course there is. And Peyton came back. And we found out that having moved away to Spokane, she had a really hard time, and she didn't find the same connection in that community that she had found here. And she was being bullied and was really sad. And her mom recognized that and sort of gave up what she was working toward to move back here to where Peyton could be happy and find her place back in this community. So Peyton started coming to the club again last week, and just the joy on her face is amazing. She is back home.
I've learned over the years that most kids do not come to a clubhouse because of all the hard work and planning we put into our activities, but they come to a clubhouse because it's a staff member that makes them feel special. It's a clubhouse staff member that takes time to listen to a kid. It's a clubhouse staff member that says, you know what, I think you are important, I'm gonna spend some time with you. That board game of Monopoly you play with that kid, you may not think it's a big deal, but to the kid who may have had a rough day at school and felt like they were being shunned by their other peers at school, and maybe felt like they will never have friends or that they're weird or goofy, the fact that you spent 10 minutes with them playing Monopoly makes a big difference to that child.
And I think some of the most amazing things happen every day, but one that really comes to mind for me is when I talk to new kids. Some of them are nervous about starting, some are okay with it, but I always tell kids when they start here, they're going to come in the club, and as they look around, they're going to find somebody they know. And in 6.5 years, I've only had to tell one kid named Jacob, who was moving here to spend time with his dad, that he might not know anyone here, and he came in brand new. What I really enjoy about telling his story, though, is because I started him off with telling him that he wouldn't know anybody. When his first day ended, he stopped by my office just to tell me about the new people he had met. So he goes, now I'm like everybody else. I know people here at the club, which I always comes to heart for me. Jacob has aged out of the program and is currently going to school back east. But my hope is that I will hear from him soon, because what I like about my job is the kids do call home.
You know, one of the girls that I worked with, she simply shared with me that she liked the fact that, you know, sometimes I take the time to go into the gymnasium and teach the girls how to shoot a free throw. You know, I used to be an athlete. I used to play basketball in high school, and you know, there's a lot of guys in the gym, so the girls don't usually, you know, go in there and just shoot hoops. So they thought it was really, you know, kind that they really liked that I could take my time to just teach them something so simple. A lot of these kids come from families that are, you know, too busy, which is why they have to come here after school. The parents are always working, or they have younger siblings, and it's nice to just be asked, you know, how was your day, or what was your favorite part? You know, what was the hardest, and you have anything you want to talk about. You know, of course, teen girls, there's a lot of drama, but, you know, it's nice to let them give them a chance to release that. And, you know, and I'm just there to listen.
I am the club director, so I spend a lot of time in my office, and the kids see me in that role. They see me giving tours, they see me talking to donors, and a lot of them don't really understand what I do. You know, we have some really great staff here, and they're really close with a lot of the kids. And some of my girls, I think they were a little concerned that I wasn't feeling appreciated by the kids. It was really sweet. They came into my office just before Easter, and they gave me this Easter basket. But what's really special is they wrote me a card, and this was a huge surprise to me. Like, I wasn't expecting this, and they, you know, they weren't expecting anything in return. And we all appreciate you and wanted to show you that. So we took action. They said we took action. I'm always telling the kids, like, they need to take action when they want something. It shows that the kids are paying attention, and that we're working together. You know, we say a lot that the club is like a family, and it really is. And
I've been working with the Keystone program, and that's our high school community service program. So we work with 9th grade through 12th grade to get them out in the community, building those relationships and giving back to those who have given to the club. It's a great program. I've gotten my group from 10 kids up to a group of 21 to 23, depending on who can show up. It's a big achievement for our club, considering we've only had a small group in the past. There's a 9th grader named Haley who is new to the Keystone Club, but not new to Boys and Girls Club in general. When I first met her, she was very quiet and kept to herself and didn't want to do anything that was outside of her comfort level. Right now, she is running to be our vice president next year in Keystone, so she's really opened her bubble up and is one of those people that will stand up and volunteer and say, I will be in charge of this, I'll put it together, contact me. So she's just been bursting from her bubble from what we saw about 2 years ago.
Our mission is to really push STEM. One thing that we've decided to do is teach programming languages. One kid in particular has really been impacted by this, and I feel like he has the most potential, and he can really go really far with coding. And he comes from a background that I would have never thought. He's not the most social person. So I've kind of done stretch assignments where I'm like, okay, you finish this, 20 minutes ahead of everybody else. So do you think you could do a leadership role and maybe go around and help others? And a lot of times he gives me a little pushback because he's like nervous about it. And I feel like because he is really good at coding, he feels more comfortable helping somebody else with it, even though he struggles in that social aspect.
Kid I have, his name is Anthony, and he's struggling in school, or he was struggling in school because English is his second language. He's super self-conscious about his reading level and his ability to do his homework. And so instead of trying to catch up and trying to figure it out, he was just not doing it. And every day in Power Hour, it was a struggle to get him to do his homework. For Christmas, he got a guitar, and he's super interested in music. And we fortunately have a music program run on Thursdays. So taking that information I had with his grandma and taking it into just a conversation I had with him about how when I push him, I want him to be successful, and that's why I'm pushing him as hard as I am. And we found out that if I sit him with a tutor and I guarantee him that time, that there's no judgment, that he feels completely safe and able to do what he needs to do to catch up, he's actually coming to me, he's coming to my tutors to get his homework done so he can reach that incentive. And it's just been really great to see him grow and to see him get more excited about his learning and his education.
One that really stands out is one of our teen members of the club. His name is Max. He started coming to the club when he was a kid at the old Mercer Island Boys and Girls Club, and moved over to the new club, has been an active member in the after-school program for years, and just recently, within the last year, made a transition to become a staff with our child care department. While at the club, he's been really active in after-school programs, in tutoring, and being a counselor in training, part of our Keystone program, which is our community service group. And now that he's a staff, he works with our kindergarten through third graders, and he even is still active in our Keystone program as well. So he's juggling not only school, but being a staff, having his first job, and also being an active club member. You take a step back and you think of a kid like Max, and it really reminds you, kind of gives me goosebumps, but it reminds you this is why I do what I do. To see a kid that Mom has even talked to me multiple times about not knowing what his niche is going to be, and that when he got really active in the club, that's where he found it. And it goes to show that what we provide in the atmosphere and the programs and the people that work at the club provide a place for these kids to really grow and flourish and become confident young adults. And so it's a really humbling thing, and it makes me, and I know other staff, really proud of what he's done as a young man and what he's going to continue to do.
So it's Casey. He was also our youth of the quarter, and he started off over in Auburn, and then he moved over here to Federal Way. He started going over to Truman High School, which is an alternative high school, also known as like the Last Chance High School, and they are right next door to our teen center, which is very helpful for us to make an impact on the community. So he started coming over here and just being around positive human beings. As all the staff here, he started seeing that people care about him and love him and want to hear about his day, and just through those emotions, he started trying to invest inside himself to make sure he will be a better person. He's volunteered on several Feed the Homeless days to marathon days. Yesterday we had our Wise Guys group, which is the self-confidence building for young males. And he was in there just sharing a lot of his own stories about positive and negative choices that he's made to be where he is today. And he just wants to help. Now he just wants to feel like he can be of use and service to others. And that's a beautiful place to be in this world. You can never say you've been in a kid's shoes, but you might have walked down the same street. And so you might have an understanding of where they're coming from. And just that understanding can help you bond and become closer to that youth. You never know what day, what moment might be that special moment to have that aha, oh, this is my life type and this is where I can change. And you never know when that may be, so you have to keep representing yourself every day as a positive, caring soul to others. Like I was saying, many cogs turn this clock. You know, there's many parts and pieces. And every one of us has the ability to cause positive change, no matter what part in this company or organization that you're in. And it starts from the staff who come from the same community that the kids are coming from, so that's why we're able to make such a deep connection, because we know what street they're off and the kids are coming from. We know what sometimes what home lives are coming from, because the staff themselves have been there. And all the way up to our execs who meet all the, rub the elbows with all the people that can give us money to keep going. And $1 invested into the Boys and Girls Club is the best investment that you can have, because youth are our future. You can see how much potential they have that they haven't seen in themselves. And when they do finally see that potential in themselves, they light up and they can take off. But it takes a caring adult in the first place to show them love and compassion that they can even get there. There's so many youths that are in this program that never had an adult say that they're proud of them. I mean, how damaging is that? I mean, especially for a teen center, you have 16, 17, 18-year-olds that still have never had an adult say, good job, I'm proud of you. And when they can hear that and it's genuine, that fuels them in a positive direction. And the more money we can give towards that, about paying quality staff to be around these youth, the more outcome you're going to get like that. And those are numbers that aren't measured by metrics. You can't, there's no way for us to say in a graph, you know, because maybe those kids that made those great changes, maybe they still have Fs, but at least their mindset has changed direction, and they're going to have a better life because of that.